Okay.
You continue to get 10?
Yeah, just 10.
Just to make sure. So what happens if you don't get 10 the next month?
Olivia's going to be very mad at you. Now, if you don't get 10, nothing happens. It's just a way to simplify the business.
Okay.
But since you asked what happens, let me also give you some context.
Okay.
Because what happens is if you do it for 12 consecutive months, if you re-qualify for RSD for 12 consecutive months, at the end of that 12th month, the company is going to send you an additional bonus of $2,500. That was a good question because I didn't say that earlier. So re-qualify. You do it the first time and you do it 12 consecutive months. On the 12th month of completion, they're going to send you an additional $2,500 check. So that's what happened. Any other questions? Yes.
So would that be like business on my own? Would I consider that?
A tax question.
Yeah.
Okay, so the tax question is 1099.
Okay.
But that allows you to write every single thing that you do. It's gasoline, it's food.
All of that. I mean, and it's a home-based business. Home-based business is number one.
So if I travel to South Carolina for a meeting,
Even if you didn't go for a meeting, but you told when you went to South Carolina in your scenario, but you tell somebody, you maybe take someone to Starbucks for 30 minutes. You can use as a tax write-off. You go to, she just said a cruise. Like we would go on these cruises, right?
Yeah.
But to make it a tax write-off, we would have a meeting on the cruise, just on one day.
Right.
On one day, we would have a cruise for like an hour, and then we were able to make it a business trip.
okay.
So there's ins and outs that you can actually do. Same thing with your haircut, some clothes. Like if you go buy a suit or something, you can write that off. So there's good stuff. You'll get more of that once you get involved in the business. That was a great question. Any other questions before we move forward?
Question.
Yes.
Okay.
How do you spell your name, by the way?
ASS as in Sam, I-A. I mean, I'm going to tell you the whole thing.
Okay.
T-O-U. Then I cut it off.
Say the name. How you spell it?
The whole thing?
Yes.
Seattle. Seattle.
ASS
I-A.
IA
T-O-U.
T O U. Oh, nice. Okay, your question.
Alright, so my question is, if like they call you and they would like to enroll, would they be like getting some insurance card or like something to show to them?
Yes, they'll get a card and they'll get a welcome letter. So her question is, once you enroll your brother, like you just said, he tries out the plan, what does he get? In the mail, it takes 7 to 10 business days for them to get it.
The card, but it's still active, right? They get a number when they sign up, I'm guessing, right?
Hey, Joe!
Was Zakira said that?
No.
Yes, she did.
No, I did not.
Okay, yeah, that's true. It's active right away. Yeah, it's active right away. Yeah, there you go, right there. That's the card that they'll get. Is your address on there?
No.
If you don't mind passing it around, everybody can look at it.
That's what girls that comes to
Huh?
Is it for only the medical, dental, and vision?
Whatever they get, they'll get the card specifically for that. That's a great question. And it takes 7 to 10 business days for it to get to them. You guys are helping me out. Like, this is really good.
Thank you.
That's a really good question. What was the other? Yes.
Oh, go ahead before you.
No, you go.
I just want to know what was the name of that book that you said Donald Trump.
Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki. It's Why We Want You to Be Rich.
Okay, thank you.
You got it. Yes.
Once we enroll in this, if I was able to pay that money today, you're enrolled in the.
Of course.
You're a member of.
Of course.
The program.
Of course.
Okay.
Everyone in your household too. Yeah.
Even that one that you just take care of.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone in the household. With all of our plans, whether you're an individual or a household, the price is the same.
And it's the
That
same
makes more
one.
sense now.
One card.
There's another important question here. She just said, I said individual or household, our prices are all the same. And then she said one card. Everybody gets a card, but the same name appears on all the cards. But when you take an application, they're filling it out online on your website. They put their name and their date of birth for each person in the household. But when that package comes in the mail for them, it's one name on the card, the primary. But they'll send, if there's 5 people in the house, they'll send 5 different cards, and it'll be the same name on all of them. So if your customers ask, why isn't the name, just say you'll get one card, but all their information is on. When they go to the dentist, they call this, all their information is in. Yeah.
A website, is that included in?
Yes. As soon as you get started, you'll get a website 30 minutes later with your name on it. It's ready for your brother to get started and try out one of your plans.
Okay.
Yeah. It works quickly.
And it's preformed, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we all have the same one.
Yeah.
All have the same one. Like how you always talking about McDonald's and it has the same system, same website. Just your name is on one, my name's on the other. Yeah. Alright, so, alright, let's go. Alright, that was good for Q&A. Good questions. Let me show y'all this real quick, and then we'll go to some meeting etiquettes. We'll finish it up with meeting etiquette. Alright, so look at this, guys. This is very important. Because what you don't want to do, yeah, I got you. Oh. Okay, so what you don't want to do is, here's something to write down, to remember in your business, no matter how much money you want to make in this business, your time is the most valuable thing. I may work part-time, you may work full-time, but I may make more money than you. But it's all based on this, right? We expect for everyone to sign up, but we wait for no one to sign up. Right? That's the purpose of our calendar. They're not interested right now, we got to keep it moving. 3 to 5 minutes. If you're taking more than 3 to 5 minutes to share the benefits and explain the benefits, you're wasting your time. 3 to 5 minutes. If you're longer than 3 to 5 minutes, you're taking too long and you're increasing the chances of them telling you no.
Right.
So it's just like you're wasting your time to be rejected.
Time kills deals.
Right? Like my biggest thing with being pulled over by a police officer is not the fact that they're going to give me a ticket. It's the process of how long it takes. Like, as soon as you pull me, just bring the ticket with you the first time. And go on your way. But no, it's, let me see, license, registration, they got to go back to the car, they run the numbers. No one there was running them all the time anyway.
Right. Go whether they gotta size you up. Just
right.
If they either want it or not.
Or if they want to shoot you, right? Nah, I might let them go. But yeah, it's one of those things where you don't want to waste your time. You expect for everyone to sign up, but you don't wait for anyone. Even Aunt Betty,
Right.
even Uncle Tom, right? You don't wait. Follow back up. Follow back up. Because as they say, the fortune is in the follow-up. So let's look at these numbers real quick. 48% of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. Remember we was talking about majority rules? Most people are unsuccessful. Most people aren't disciplined. Most people don't follow up. Well, look at that. 48% of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. 25% of salespeople make a second contact and stop. That means they give up, right? After the second time. They're excited. They understand. They heard me just say the fortune's in the follow-up, so they follow up that second time because they don't want to not follow up. So they say, I'm going to follow up the second time. 12% of salespeople only make 3 contacts and stop. Remember, and when we're talking about contacts, we're not talking about convincing.
Right.
You're not trying to pull up on people, right? At their house, like, yo, you say you're giving them benefits? You're not sending hate mail, right? You're not sending hate text messages, right? These are just content. You're touching it. You're touching it. Ooh, touch. Hey, you told me to follow up today. Are you ready? No? Okay. Let's go to the next one. Hey, yo, you ready to get started? No, not yet? Okay. Boom. And you're doing it that. You're not beating them in the head. Right? Only 10% of salespeople make more than 3 contacts. 10%. 10%. Right? 2% of sales are made on the first contact. 2%. 2%. 2%. 3% of sales are made on the second contact. 5% of sales are made on the third contact. 10% of sales are made on the fourth contact. And they spelled that wrong. Did anybody catch that? They spelled fourth wrong.
Oh, yeah, you got the U.
80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. 80%.
80%. How many times?
5th to 12th. 5th to 12th.
So is it safe to say on the 13th contact it's going to be a guarantee?
Pretty. Well, it's 80%. Yeah, it's very likely. Very likely. All right, and then if you need one of these, once you get on the team, we'll get it to you. This is very powerful. It's called a no sheet. Most of you get into this business to hear yeses, but the most successful people, as you just saw with these numbers, the most successful people get paid for how many no's we get. Right? How many no's we get. All right, so what we'll do now is we're going to finish it up with some meeting. Well, how to plan for the next event. How do you plan for the next event? You just invite people to come. Our next event is March 3rd. So don't just come by yourself. Bring somebody. Right? Bring a few people with you March 3rd. We do it the first Saturday of every month. Bring somebody with you. Because it ain't no fun if what?
The homies can't have it.
The homies can't have it. We got to bring guests. Bring guests. If you want to participate, if you want to do something in the meeting, let us know. Just like there was a couple here, they've been coming this is like their second time. They're learning how to do a meeting, right? Because they're in South Carolina. But if you want to do anything, you got to let us know. Columbia, there you go. All right? So that's the next event, March 3rd, right? March 3rd. Now, let's do some meeting etiquettes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is that here?
Yes. Yep. Same. We ain't going. We're right here all the time. Okay. So some meeting etiquettes would be. All right. What time we got? 4:01. Oh shoot. All right. We'll do this real quick. All right. So some meeting etiquettes is. Let's do bathroom. Okay? If you have a bladder problem, when we have our meetings, what you want to do is you want to sit in the back.
Right.
Right? Also, if you have an attitude problem, it's not funny. We all have them, right? We have bad days, right? If you have an attitude problem, you sit in the back. Right? You sit in the back. You have a baby. You know where they were sitting? They were sitting in the back. Right? You have an issue or a thing that's not an issue.
Distraction.
Yeah, you have a distraction because this is business, right? So if you have a distraction, come on in. Just sit in the back.
Right.
Right? So that's a meeting etiquette. Another thing is participation. And I know Zykira spoke about that. She kicked us off talking about that audience participation. That's really big. Right? When you see us doing these presentations, especially our presenters, they're going to do the same exact thing every time. It's going to be the same jokes. It's going to be the same thing. It's just going to be the same thing. But you know what you got to do? You got to act as if you've never seen it before. Right. Yeah. Oh, you don't want to be like, oh, you're about to do that part again. Here it comes. Look. We're going to do it now. Look. Oh, he didn't do it the same way. Oh. Right? So, audience participation. Another thing is, look at AJ right now. Stay right there. Look at AJ. You see AJ? Look at AJ. Look at Joe. Look at Joe. Look at AJ. Look at Joe. Look at, what's your name? Kanisha. Look at Kanisha.
I invited her.
Notebook.
Look at this. Look at it. Look, you see? Anybody notice anything with these people?
Focus.
They're focused and engaged and they have a pen and paper. They're on the edge of their seat.
They're on the edge of their seat ready. As if this is the first time. But the key to your success for a successful meeting